So welcome everyone. My name is Elsa. Great to see you tonight for the strength and balance training step 1. So please make sure that you have lots of space. You have a chair with a high back or your walker, walking aid, whatever you use for support. We also will be using hand weights today. As I mentioned, always exercise at your own pace. If you're feeling tired or unwell, please take a break or let us know. And choose the modification that's best for you. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get ready for our warm up. So I'm just gonna set up my timer here and I'll ask you to start marching on the spot, whether it is standing up today or seated. So let's move that there. Okay, so I'm gonna start marching on the spot here. I have my support beside me and I'm holding on. And I'm marching on the spot. If you are doing the seated option for today, you can also come into your chair and marching on the spot in the chair. Perfect. Great. So keep going with whichever option that you're doing today. So really the goal, we're warming up our bodies here and getting ready for exercise. Keeping that support nearby and holding on. Make sure that it is sturdy, has a nice strong base of support so that you can hold on and feel confident in being able to hold on to this base of support here, okay? Great. Okay, really driving those knees up and bringing the arm forward and back, driving the elbows backward. Good. Let's transition. We're going to do a tap forward and a tap forward. So if you're standing, still holding on, I'm tapping forward, driving one heel. Okay? So picking up those feet, not letting them drag on the ground. You're doing the seated option, same thing. We're going kick forward and kick forward. And you can still swing those arms. Nice. Keep breathing here. Maybe noticing you're getting a little bit warmer. Maybe you're breathing a little bit faster. That's totally normal. Okay, we're gonna go tap to the side now. So tap into the side. Again, we're picking those feet up. You can swing the arms, holding onto your support. Seated is the same thing. We're going side and slide. Picking those feet up off the ground. Thinking about pressing our belly button to the back of the spine. Good. Great. 3, 2, 1. We're going to come into some marching. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to hold. So every third march, we're going to hold for 1 second and try and balance there. Now you don't need to bring the leg all the way into your chest. You can maybe just keep it low to the ground, holding onto your support here. Trying to hold that position for at least 1 second. Perfect. Nice. Again, same thing in the chair. 1, 2, 3, hold that leg up. Thinking about pushing your belly button to the back of the spine, engaging those abdominal muscles, your stomach muscles here to help stabilize the body. A few more. Great. Okay, let's just go back to some high knee marches. So I'm really bringing the legs up nice and high to the chest. I'm not going as fast as I would with the marches, but I am driving that knee up. Good. Same thing if you're in the chair, driving those knees up. Let's switch. Now we're going to kick our bum here, kicking the bum, holding onto your support still. Good. Breathing deeply. A nice kick. Feeling a little bit of a stretch into the front of the thigh. And if you're in the seated position, you can keep going with the marches this way, okay? We're all going to come back to the marches in 3, 2, 1. So we're all back to the marches. Still breathing. And switch right away if you're standing to the back kick here. Good. For 3, 2, 1. Nice. Let's find a nice active position here. So I'm standing up nice and tall. If I'm standing, my feet are planted firmly into the ground, a little bit wider than hip width apart. I have a little bit of a bend in my knee, and I'm engaging my abdominal muscles, belly button to the back of the spine. And I'm going to start with some wrist rotations here. So rolling the wrist out. Same thing if you're in the seated position, you're at the edge of your chair here. You are sitting up nice and tall, engaging the belly button to the back of the spine, and your feet are planted firmly on the ground. Switching directions. Opposite direction here. Good. Great, let's change to the elbow joint. So drawing nice big circles from the elbow joint. Hopefully you can see here, I'm really keeping my elbow in the same spot. So as if there was a pin that was right pushing my elbow against the wall and it was stuck there. It's not moving, just the lower part of my arm is moving. Good. Switching directions. So still breathing. Even though we're isolating the joint here, you can still feel full body engagement with our feet firmly planted, a light bend to the knees, and our core, our abdominal muscles are engaged. Good, let's switch. We're gonna do some nice big shoulder rolls going backwards. Breathing through it. Just noticing how your joints are feeling. My shoulders are feeling a little bit sore today, so I'm just being nice and gentle with these motions. And let's do one more. And switching forwards now. Nice big circles. Moving through your range of motion here. Good. For 3, for 2, for 1. Awesome. We're going to channel to one leg, or if you're seated, that's perfect. And we're going to do some ankle rolls here. So rolling to one side. Again, just noticing how your ankles are feeling. Are they feeling stiff? And let's switch directions. Really being gentle with our joints, not forcing any range of motion. And let's switch over to the other side. Again, holding on to that support to stabilize you here. And let's switch directions. Good. Okay, we're going to come into a nice strong position again. If you're seated, you're on the edge of your seat. We're going to hinge forward at the hips, and we're going to do our wide PW. So we're going to reach the arms all the way up overhead. For our wide position here, we're going to reach them all the way up to the side, dropping those shoulders down away from the ears, and then pulling the elbows into the body for the W. Perfect. So keep cycling through. So pushing forward, going into our Y here, opening out to the side for T, and W. Elbows in towards the side of the body. Good. Keep pressing the belly button to the back of the spine here. Having a nice long line from the top of your head to the bottom of your spine. And really extending all the way through the arms, maybe wiggling the fingers, making sure that everything is engaged, pulling in. When we're pulling in, the shoulder blades are coming together. Let's do 2 more here. Reach up, reach out, and in. We're still breathing. Nice light bend to the knees, reaching out, reaching back, shoulders down, and elbows in. Perfect. Stand up nice and tall, or sit up nice and tall. We're going to come into some shoulder rolls, bringing the shoulders up, back, and down here. Good. So really exaggerating this. We're bringing them all the way up. You see me pushing them all the way back. Shoulder blades together, coming back down. Perfect. So really opening up into the chest here. Thinking about squeezing those shoulder blades together, back and down. Perfect. Maybe inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down. Let's do one more. And let's shake that out. We're gonna get going right away with our first exercise, which is gonna be our sit to stand. We're gonna add a variation today. So make sure that you have a chair that's firmly planted. Just a disclaimer here, I have chairs that are on wheels here. Please make sure that yours are not. This is the only chair that I have available to me today. So I'll show the standing option first, and then we'll go through the seated option. So for the standing option, really both options, we're coming to our active position. So feet are firmly planted, a little bit of a bend in the knees. My feet are hip width apart, like a little bit wider. My core is engaged. My belly button is squeezing to the back of the spine. You can also think about that zipper sensation, zipping up through those deep abdominal muscles, okay? So for the sit to stand, I'm coming right in front of my chair here, and I'm gonna send the hips back, keep the weight in the heels, and squat into the chair. So for this one, I'm sitting back, weight into the heels, coming down nice and slow, hips are going back. We're in 3, 2, 1. So I'm in my chair position. From here, option, you can use your handrails to help you stand up. If you have something in front of you, like a walker or something, don't use that. Use the handrails if you need the support. Plant the feet, heels firmly planted. Push yourself up. Hips are coming forward here. Okay, so that's option 1, just sticking with the sit to stand. Option 2, once we come down and then stand back up, you might have a support kind of beside you. So make sure you have all your supports, and you're gonna do a knee drive up. Okay, so you're coming all the way down, all the way back up, and then alternating your knee drive. Make sure that you have support nearby so you can hold on. I'll let you set that up if you're doing that option. For the seated option, you're gonna stay in the chair. You're gonna reach all the way forward here, all the way back, and then you're gonna lift one knee up and coming together. So you're reaching forward, reaching back, and driving one knee up. Okay, perfect. We're gonna be here for 1 minute. Let me check my timer. Good. Okay, so get started. Whether you're standing or seated into your active stance, maybe having the arms out in front of you, engaging the abdominal muscles. We're starting in 3, 2, 1, go. The weight is in the heels. If I'm standing, I'm sitting the weight back. Hips are coming back. Chest is nice and upright. Perfect. Then I'm standing up nice and tall, holding up to my support, drawing one knee up. Good. Keep going. Breathing through it. So important to breathe during all of our exercises. Nice. You're in the seated position. You're reaching forward, coming back, one knee up. Good. Show you this way. Big reach forward, big reach up, knee drive up. Perfect. Keep breathing. So important to breathe during all of our exercise. You're doing that knee drive, just trying to hold it there for 1 second. Good. If you don't want to do the knee drive today, that's fine. You can just do the sit to stand. You can always take breaks if you need them. We're going to be here for 10 more seconds. For 3, for 2, for 1, shake it out. Awesome job. Okay, exercise number 2. Exercise number 2 is going to be standing and seated options. We're really going to be focusing on our ankle mobility for this one. So for the standing option, you can hold on to your support here. We're going to kick one leg out to the front, and we're going to stay standing here for about 30 seconds. I'll show you from this side angle maybe. We're actually just going to point our foot. So really thinking about pushing the toes to the ground, and then flexing the foot, thinking about toes coming up to the ceiling. So give that a try. Point and flex. All while we're balancing on one foot here. So Seated option, same thing. Seated in the chair, on the edge of your chair, you're gonna kick one leg forward. We're gonna point it forward, and then we're gonna flex. Point and flex. And you might feel some engagement into your thigh as well, into your quadricep muscle, and that is great. If you need to take a break at any point, please do. Okay, here we go. 30 seconds. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. So shift your weight over so that you have your support in one hand, and go ahead and start with these points and flex. Point and flex. Good. So straight from the side again. You're seated, we're just pointing and we're flexing. Point and flex. You can have your hands down onto the chair. That might make it easier to hold your leg out. It doesn't need to be straight, but please do sit up nice and tall. We're switching over in 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Let's kick the other leg out and get started right away. So pointing and flexing. Pointing and flexing. Nice job. Standing up nice and tall. We are engaging our abdominal muscles here, and we're balancing on the front leg. So you can keep the fingertips nice and light on your support if you feel quite stable. Point and flex for 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay, transitioning right away, we're going to do 10 calf raises all together. So I'm coming to my active stance. I'm ready to go here. We're going to roll up onto the toes and come down. If you're in the seated position, you're just going to roll up onto your toes and then come down that way, okay? So you're working on your ankle mobility a little bit more. Let's do 10 all together here, seated or standing. This is 1. Nice, engaging that core. 2, hold it for a second before coming back down. Nice job. 3, onto our toes and back down. 4, 5. That's halfway. We're going to do 5 more. 6. Nice. 7. Nice and slow here. 8. 9. And 10. Perfect. Shake that one out. We have 2 more exercises before we're going to be doing a water break. So the next exercise we've done before, we're going to come into a nice active stance here. If you're standing, we're going to bring our hands in front of our body here. So I'm here, my knees are bent, my abdominal muscles are engaged, and my arms are out straight in front of me. I am kind of giving myself a high five here. Perfect. So if you don't feel stable and you're unable to do this one in the standing position, please do sit down and do the seated option. First, I'll show you the standing option. But first with our legs, the wider that your legs are, within reason here, and the more stable you're gonna feel. If your feet are quite close together, it's gonna be more challenging. So coming into our active stance here, we're gonna be engaging our abdominal muscles, belly button to the back of the spine. We're gonna be doing a little bit of a twist here, and we're also gonna be engaging the side muscles, the side oblique muscles here, okay? So the sides of the abdominals, we're gonna twist slowly and controlled, and then come back in. We're gonna do 30 seconds this way, 30 seconds that way. If you're in the chair, same thing. Sitting up nice and tall, arms are out in front of us. We're gonna twist to the side, coming back in. Side, coming back in. So the whole time I'm pushing my belly button to the back of the spine. I'm sitting or standing up nice and tall. And then I'm also activating those side abdominal muscles, which are obliques. And as I'm twisting, I'm engaging them, and I'm really thinking about engaging them here, and then I'm coming back in. Okay, perfect. Choose your option. We're gonna do 30 seconds on each side, starting in a stable position in 3, 2, 1, go. So really reaching those arms nice and long, trying to keep those arms straight in front of you. We're twisting to one side, then coming back to center. Shoulders are down away from the ears. And breathing through it as well. So important. Nice and slow here. We have 10 more seconds. Then we're going to switch to the side. So I'm using my abdominal muscles to twist this way. And then I'm really engaging this side here to pull me back to center. For 3, 2, 1. Perfect. You can either shake out those arms or keep them up. We're going to start going the other direction in 3, 2, 1, go. So opposite way. Just a little bit of a twist and coming back. It's so important here. I've said it a couple times, pushing the belly button to the back of the spine. That helps protect our lower back and keep our whole core engaged here. Perfect. If you're sitting, you're doing the same thing. You're twisting over, coming back in. Great. 5 more seconds. For 3, for 2, for 1. Awesome. Shake that one out. I'll go ahead and show the standing or the seated option next for the next one. Seated option for the next exercise. We're going to be tapping one leg forward and coming back in. We're going to be doing a couple on one side, and then we're doing a couple on the other side. If you're standing up, we're doing another one that's going to challenge our single leg balance. So we're going to stand up nice and tall. We're going to hinge forward a little bit. So I'm just leaning forward, setting the hips back, keeping the weight into my heels. I'm going to push one leg back and reach as far back as I can with that one leg, coming back together. And then I'm going to reach with the opposite leg, coming back together. And you know what? We're going to do 30 seconds on each leg. So actually, instead of alternating, we're going to push one leg back and then bring it back in. Okay? I'm not transferring my weight here. We've done that before. I'm just tapping the toe back, coming back in. All my weight is staying on the supporting leg. Okay? Seated option, you're sending the legs forward. Okay, here we are, setting up for your option. You're standing up nice and tall, abdominal muscles are engaged, hinging forward. 30 seconds, starts in 3, 2, 1, go. So tapping that leg back, coming together. You're not transferring the weight here. You can transfer the weight, feet together, giving yourself a nice basic support there in between. To make it more challenging, you can just bring that foot in without transferring back to the wide basic support. Good. 10 more seconds. Keep breathing here. You should really feel that engagement into the quadricep muscle if you are doing the standing option. For 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Stand up, shake it out. If you're sitting down, shake out those legs. And we're going right to the opposite leg. Standing up nice, sitting or standing up nice and tall. If you're standing, hinging forward, shifting that weight over here. And let's go. 30 seconds. Tapping that leg back as far as you can. Option 1, coming to our wide basic support. Option 2, just bringing that toe to tap in, okay? Seated option here, we're bringing that leg forward and back in. Forward, back in. We're engaging the abdominal muscles. We also will feel the engagement into the quadricep muscle as well. Perfect. 15 more seconds. Not even. Breathing through it. Water break is coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Shake that out, grab some water. Just give me a thumbs up if you're doing okay. So this is just a quick check-in to see how you're doing. Thumbs up if you're doing okay. Awesome. I see some thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, go ahead and grab some water. I forgot mine today, but that's okay. And then we're going to set up for our second round. We'll be repeating all of those exercises, but maybe just taking some deep breaths, maybe rolling the shoulders back a couple times, shaking it out, whatever you need to do. We'll do 30 more seconds till we start round 2 of the circuit. I am going to keep talking though. So we are going to be doing the short-term memory game. So I'm going to tell you a number now. We're about halfway through the class. And then at the end of the class, I'm going to ask you to recall what that number was. So yes, it's a fun little game. So just working on dual tasking and trying to recall this number at the end of the class. So the number today is 3,788. Okay, I'll repeat it one more time. And at the end of the class, I want you to try and think about this number again. It's 3,788. Okay, think about that number. Perfect. And let's get set up. Option 1 was we're doing our sit to stand. Coming to our active position here. Sitting down, standing up. Option to add the knee drive. If you're doing that option, make sure you have a chair and then a second support. So you might take this other support here so you have it for that knee drive. If you're going to do the seated option here, I'm sitting up nice and tall on the edge of my chair. I'm going to reach forward, come together, and knee drive. Perfect. We're ready to go for round 2. Setting yourself up with other option. Let's engage our core all together. Let's roll the shoulders back. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. In 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. So I'm sitting the weight back, keeping the weight in my heels. Maybe just really quickly sitting down, standing back up nice and tall. Option to do that knee drive as long as you're holding on to your support there. Great. So keep the weight in the heels. Keep going. If you're doing the seated option, we're reaching forward, coming back, and driving the leg up. Perfect. So whichever option you're doing, there shouldn't be any pain at the joints. So if you're having any knee pain, please choose the seated option for today. To prevent knee pain, it is so important that we sit the hips back and keep the weight in the heels. You should be able to wiggle your toes as you're sitting down. Perfect. Firmly plant those feet. Stand up nice and strong. Good. Breathing through it. Almost there. Let's do 10 more seconds here. We're moving slowly through these movements for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Going into exercise number 2, do you remember what it is? We are going to be doing our ankle mobility here. So you can do it standing or seated, whichever feels best to you. So if you're doing the standing option, we're in our active stance, standing nice and tall. We're going to shift the weight over to one side, holding on to our support. We're going to kick one leg out. We're going to point that foot and flex it. So working through that ankle mobility, pointing and flexing for 30 seconds. If you're sitting down, you're going to keep the leg out and do the same thing. If it's hard to keep the leg out, you can always, take breaks, see how it feels to do it on the ground, take that leg forward and point it that way. Whatever works for you. The goal is really to work on our ankle mobility. Let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Breathing here. Whether you're standing or seated, make sure your abdominal muscles are engaged. Working on your balance as well. Perfect. 10 more seconds here. For 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Shake that one out. Good. Other side. Kicking that leg forward. Here we go. 30 seconds. Standing up nice and tall. And if you have to, recenter here and join us when you're ready, that's totally fine. We're here for 15 more seconds. Breathing through it. For 3, for 2, 1. Awesome. Shake it out. We're going to go into our 10 calf raises all together. So we are going to start in our nice strong position. If you're standing, if you're seated, same thing. Planting the feet on the ground. You're going to rise up onto the toes, feeling some engagement into the calf muscles here, and then coming right back down. Good. Here we go all together. This is 1. Getting up nice and tall, and coming back in. 2. Trying to hold for 1 second at the top. 3. Notice, are you gripping onto your support? Can you make your fingers a little bit lighter? 4. 5. That's the halfway mark. 5 more to go. Nice concentration. 6. 7. Awesome. 8. 9. And 10. Perfect. Shake that out. Awesome job. Okay, next exercise, we're going to be doing the tap backs. So if you're in the standing position, we're going to be doing 30 seconds on each side. So we're standing up tall, hinging forward, shifting the weight over, option to tap back, and coming back to our wide stance here. Here, we're tapping back, keeping that foot nice and light. Okay? If you're in the seated position, we're kicking forward, coming back in, keeping the core engaged. And we're also working on the quadricep muscle here. Let's go, 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. Keeping that support nearby, holding on if you're standing. Having a nice long line from the top of your head to the bottom of your spine and even to your leg as you're extending out. You might choose to have your support right in front of you. Only 5 more seconds on this side. For 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Let's stand up or sit up, shake it out, and go right into the other side. Hinging forward, shifting the weight over. Here we are. Go. Tapping back in. This is 30 seconds here. Or if you're seated, you're reaching forward with that heel, pulling it back in. Thinking about your belly button pushing to the back of the spine. Sitting up nice and tall. Great. 10 more seconds here. For 3, for 2, for 1. Awesome job. And I realized what I did. I switched up the 2 exercises. So we're going to go into our core exercise next. And this will be the last one before our water break. So we're going to have our hands out in front of us. You're either seated on the edge of your seat, sitting up nice and tall. If you're standing, I have my wide stance here. My abdominal muscles are engaged, pushing my belly button to the back of the spine here. We're going to be twisting and then coming back together, okay? Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Twist, coming in. Now, it doesn't need to be a big twist by any means. Just a little twist here, nice and slow. Thinking about engaging those oblique muscles, which are the muscles on the side of your body. Good. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears. Nice. Switching to the other side in 3, 2, 1. Perfect. You can keep those hands up. I'm going to show you the seated option. And here we go. Other side. This is 1. Again, we're here for 30 seconds. And twisting just a little bit to feel that engagement. And then really using those muscles to pull me back in. Okay, and also you can see my shoulders are down away from my ears. My hands are really extending out as far as I can. Almost there. For 3, for 2, for 1. Nice. Shake it out. Awesome job. Go ahead and grab some water, and then we'll be moving on to some different exercises. So grab some water, take some deep breaths, shake it out. And I'll just do another quick check-in. So just give me a thumbs up if you're doing okay. Good, I see some thumbs up. It's great to see you all. You're doing great so far. Wonderful. Okay, and we're gonna be grabbing onto our dumbbells as well. So grab onto your dumbbells if you have them, so they are accessible for you. Yeah, I think we'll go into that right away. I'm just looking at the time there. So options for the upper body exercises, which is what we're going to be doing next. We've done a lot of balancing and stuff for our lower body so far. You can do the exercises in standing or seated. I'll show you both options. We aren't going to be doing any more lower body exercises for the rest of the class. So if you'd like to stay standing, please do. If you prefer to sit down, if your legs are quite tired, you're feeling unbalanced, then that's a great option as well. So first exercise, I'll show you standing up to start. We're going to be doing a bent over row. So from the side, I'll show you. So I'm standing nice and tall, engaging my abdominal muscles. I'm going to shift forward at the hips here. So that my weights are in my hands, and they're just kind of in front of me here. Although my weights in my hands, I'm not letting my back round. I'm keeping a nice long line. The top of my head, the bottom of my spine here. Dropping the weights here. Leading with my elbows. I'm going to pull the weights up towards the side of my body. Leading with the elbows. So I'm in this kind of chicken wing position. And then coming back down. So leading, coming back down. Same thing for seated. We're sitting at the edge of our chair. So you're able to hinge forward a little bit at the hips here. We're going to lead with those elbows and bring the weights up to the side of the body, coming back down. Really the goal here is I want you to think about engaging the muscles between your shoulder blades here. So every time you come up, you're bringing the elbows back, but you're also bringing the shoulder blades together. Okay? Perfect. We're going to be here for 1 minute, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. So keep that nice long line, focusing on your posture here, and then drawing those arms up and down. Shoulder blades coming together. Perfect. And then if you're standing, if you're stable to be standing here, we're doing the same thing. Elbows up and down. Up and down. Perfect. We're halfway. We have 30 seconds left with this one. Breathing here. We're strengthening the muscles in our back. So important in this hinged position to keep the abdominal muscles engaged. So pressing your belly button to the back of the spine will really help to protect your core, which includes your stomach muscles and your back muscles. Great. Keep pulling those shoulder blades together for 3, for 2, for 1. Awesome. Sitting up or standing up nice and tall. The next one we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing our bicep curl to overhead press to bicep curl, coming back down. So you see my weights, the heads of my weights are facing forward. Then I'm curling them up. My palms of my hands are facing in. And then I'm pushing up overhead. The palms of my hands are facing out. Wonderful. If you're standing, please just come to an active position. You can do the same thing. Up and overhead and coming back down. Perfect. Going for a minute in 3, 2, 1, go. Breathing through it. Now, if you're having any shoulder pain with the overhead press, you can just come to the bicep curl here. And you can even add a bicep curl and and then coming into a front raise instead, alternating between those two. If that is more comfortable for you. The overhead press, we're working on the shoulders here, reaching up nice and high. Another option is to do it without weights if you're finding that's a little bit easier. It's great to work on the overhead mobility. Sometimes we always have to reach up high to grab things, so it's great to work on that. 20 more seconds here, whichever option you're doing. Thinking about keeping your rib cage in, try not to let it flare here. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Sitting up nice and tall. For 3, for 2, for 1. Awesome. Our next exercise, we're going to be doing another overhead exercise. So we're going to be coming to the arms, bringing them overhead. And from here, I'm going to bring my elbows into the sides of my body, coming in, squeezing the shoulder blades together. So really, I'm coming into this position here, and then I'm going to reach them back all the way overhead. Okay, so this is a lot for the shoulders. If that's too much, you can always go out to the side and then pull them in, side, pull them in, or option going all the way overhead and then bringing those elbows in, kind of making a nice big circle. And I'll show you from the back here what I'm talking about. I'm coming into this strong position. My shoulder blades are coming together. My elbows are tucking in to the sides of my body. You're standing up, same thing, option to do it in this active stance position. We're here for 1 minute, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. So let's reach all the way overhead and pulling in. Controlling the movement. So as we're leading with the elbows here, we're pulling them into the side of the body, squeezing those shoulder blades together, opening the chest. Great. Breathing through it. Maybe choosing to inhale on the way up. And big exhale on the way down. Great job, everyone. More than halfway. Keeping those shoulders down away from the ears. Shoulders might be getting a little bit sore now. It's okay to take a break, but we only have 5 seconds left. For 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Shake that one out. So we're just going to do a couple shoulder rolls going backwards. We are going to repeat that circuit. But first, let's reach the arms up to the side and give ourselves a nice big hug. You can round it to the back here. That's okay. Giving yourself a tight squeeze and then reaching out, bringing the opposite arm over top. Tight squeeze here. Perfect. Let's do a couple more each way. Nice. Shoulders down away from the ears. And last one. Okay, let's sit nice and tall, and we're going to get going with our second mass. So starting with the bent over row. So again, coming into this hinge position, whether you're sitting or standing, we're engaging the core. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, let's start. Leading with the elbows. Thinking about bringing those shoulder blades together and coming back down. Wonderful. Don't let your neck touch in. Keep a nice long line here. And since we're coming up to the end of the class, maybe starting to think about what that number was that I said a little while ago, and then we're going to be trying to remember what it was at the end all together. Great. So long line to the top of your head, hinging forward if you're standing, you're hinged forward a little bit more, leading with those elbows, shoulder blades together, coming back down. Controlling the movement here. Great job. Keep breathing. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to go into exercise 2, which is our bicep curl to overhead press. So now you know where we're going next. We're going to be going overhead again. That might be a lot for your shoulders. This time you might choose to do the bicep curl to front raise instead, okay? That's an option for you. Great. Starting 1 minute here in 3, 2, 1, go. So bicep curl to the front raise option, bring the arms to 90 degrees, or we're doing bicep curl to overhead press. Breathing through it. Find a breathing pattern that works for you. Sometimes I find that focusing on my breath here really helps the exercises to go by a little bit quicker, and they feel a little bit more comfortable. Again, you can always do this one with no weights, emphasizing the biceps as you're coming up, pushing overhead, coming down. Great. 5 more seconds here. For 3, for 2, for 1. Awesome. And we have our final exercise. We're going to be pushing the shoulders overhead and then coming into the scapular retraction. So go ahead, bring the arms up overhead. If this is too much for right now, you can always bring those arms up to the side and then in, out, and in, or else coming all the way overhead. So we're going to start 1 minute now, either way. So we're pushing the arms strong overhead and then squeezing those elbows into the side of the body here. Wonderful. Bringing those shoulder blades together. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. And sitting up or standing up nice and tall. Belly button to the back of the spine. Even if you have light weights or no weights, being nice and strong here, intentional with the movements. We're squeezing those shoulder blades together, really emphasize that. And then we're keeping those shoulders down away from the ears as we press up overhead. We have 10 more seconds. Perfect. For 3, for 2, 1. Awesome job. Shake that out. Really amazing. And we're going to go right into our cool down. So go ahead. You can drop the weights to the floor. I'm just going to put them on my second chair over here. And we're going to start with our cool down. So let's just take a deep breath together. Inhaling in and exhaling out. And keep thinking of those deep breathing or the deep breathing throughout these exercises. So let's go ahead, flex the hands. And we're going to tilt our neck over to one side. Feel a nice long stretch along the side of this muscle in the neck here. First, being really gentle with the neck. And really just with all of our muscles and joints. Perfect. Coming back up gently to center before tilting the head over to the other side. Taking some deep inhales and exhales here. Perfect. Let's bring the hand back up to center. Let's reach one arm across with our body, and you can hold on with the opposite arm. You can kind of bring your hands into a cross here. Really, the goal though is to feel a stretch into the deltoid muscle, into the shoulder. And we just did several shoulder exercises, so you might find that's a little bit tight. Taking some deep breaths here. And let's maybe do some wrist rotations as well. Switching directions. Okay, let's drop. Reaching the other hand across the body. Coming into this cross position, keeping that shoulder down away from the ear, and you really should feel that stretch onto the shoulder here, okay? Let's start with some wrist rotations if you'd like. Still sitting up nice and tall, switching directions, and taking some deep breaths here. Perfect. Okay, let's drop the hands. We're going to roll the shoulders back. We're going to think about, you can either just grab onto the back of your chair or the bottom of your chair, or you can clasp your hands behind the back. Roll those shoulders back, opening up into the chest here. Right, and really feeling that release and opening into the chest. Option 2, extend those hands down away from your lower body. Shoulder blades are coming together. And with a nice big exhale, let's clasp the hands in front of the body and round into the upper back. And you should feel the shoulder blades coming apart. Great. Let's release that one more time. Roll in the shoulders back. Take a nice big inhale as you're opening up into the chest. And exhale, we're going to push the hands away. Perfect. Great. Okay, let's come on out of that one. We're going to do our hamstring stretch. So go ahead and kick one leg out to the front of the room or wherever, whichever angle, out straight in front of you. The other leg is bent. Make sure that you feel supported here. You can always grab your second support. And we're going to hinge forward at the hips here. And you just need to do a little bit of the hinge till you start to feel that stretch along the side of the back of the leg into the hamstring muscle. You can see here, I'm hinging forward and feeling that stretch. The more flexible you are, the more you're going to have to hinge forward, but make sure that you're in a stable position if you're going to be hinging forward that much. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's switch the other leg. Kicking the opposite leg out, sitting up nice and tall, and hinging forward here, extending nice long line to the top of the spine to the chair, really, to the bottom of your spine. Again, taking some deep breaths here, holding onto your support. You can also rest your hands onto the opposite thigh. Make sure it's in the middle of the thigh, not near your knee. Good. And let's sit up nice and tall. We're just going to do a couple more ankle rolls. So just roll up the ankle here, rolling it out. Noticing how you feel. You can keep the foot on the ground or lift it up. Does it feel a little bit more mobile than it did at the beginning of the class? Or does it feel more stiff? Switching directions. Hopefully it doesn't feel more stiff as we've been warming up and standing up and all that. Great, so let's do the other side. Nice ankle rotations here. And you can make those nice and slow, opposite direction. Perfect. Let's just do one more. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Inhale overhead. And exhale, let it all go. And shake it all out. Perfect. And you can remember the number. So I'll give you a couple of seconds here. Try and remember the number from the beginning of the class. I will not spoil it for you. But thank you so much for joining today. It was lovely to have you join, and looking forward to seeing you again next time.